now wewe kama mwandishi wa habari, by the way, usiende tu uko nje kila mara uko mambo ya kietu. You also have to align with some of the things that are currently happening, so that you look at the trends, what is happening. You have to be aligned with what is happening so that it helps you take advantage of what they are doing to make money for yourself. Like now, tulijua to the other day kwamba SHA is not even managed by the government, sio? So what are you doing?
Try to get a niche for yourself. Ni wapi ungependa kujiendeleza? Ni wapi wewe mwenyewe ukikaa chini ukijitathmini unaona hapa nina uwezo wa kufanya? And go ahead. Usijifunge mwenyewe ati for you to be a journalist you have to be employed in a media house, ama for you to be a journalist you have to be practicing in a mainstream media. No. The cake is big. Unaweza ukasomea uandishi wako habari na ukajiendeleza kitaaluma yako kwa mambo mengine ya kuyafanya, especially now that we have this digital space.
In the audience we have our journalism students as well as community development students who are taking public relations. So karibuni sana. We are honored and privileged to host you this afternoon. I will ask you to kindly introduce yourselves. Then we start.
My name is Ali Mwalimu. I am a journalist and also a member of the Mombasa Press Club. I am also a media viability consultant, and I'm also a student here. Asante.
Habari zenu. I'm MAUREEN MUDI. I am also a journalist by background, but currently I work with the Media Council of Kenya as the regional coordinator. And I am also an alumni of this school. I sat in this class doing some exams some time ago, so it's glad to be home. Asanteni.
Good afternoon. Assalamu alaikum. Kwa majina naitwa Omar Abdallah or OMMY DALLAH. I'm a journalist by profession and the chairman Mombasa Press Club.
Good afternoon. Naitwa Margaret Matunda. I am a journalist by profession, but now I'm a media analyst with the Media Council of Kenya.
Good afternoon. I'm Moses Muia. I work for the Media Council of Kenya as a media analyst. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Warm welcome to all our guests. In the audience, we have our journalism students as well as community development students who are taking public relations. So karibuni sana. We are honored and privileged to host you this afternoon. I will ask you to kindly introduce yourselves. Then we start our discussions. Let's start on my left, please.
This is Ali Mwalimu. I am a journalist and also a member of the Mombasa Press Club. I am also a media viability consultant, and I'm also a student here. Asante.
Habari zenu. I'm MAUREEN MUDI. I am also a journalist by background, but currently I work with the Media Council of Kenya as the regional coordinator. And I am also an alumni of this school. I sat in this class doing some exams some time ago, so it's glad to be home. Asanteni.
Good afternoon. Assalamu alaikum. Kwa majina naitwa Omar Abdallah or OMMY DALLAH. I'm a journalist by profession and the chairman Mombasa Press Club.
Good afternoon. Mimi naitwa Margaret Matunda. I am a journalist by profession, but now I'm a media analyst with the Media Council of Kenya.
Good afternoon. I'm Moses Muia. I work for the Media Council of Kenya as a media analyst.
So we also recognize the presence of TV47. TV47. All right. Karibuni sana. We want to hand over the program to our guests. I know we have so many questions about the press club, press cards, journalists' rights, and so on. So, Omi, karibu.
As I had indicated earlier, my name is Margaret Matunda, a journalist and also a media analyst. before becoming a media analyst, I used to be a radio journalist. I worked with Milele FM, Kwetu Radio, Radio Rahma, Radio 316, and briefly with Standard Media Group, that was Pambazuko. I still do journalism, freelancing mostly. Hiyo sitaisema kwa nguvu. My boss is here, anaweza sikia akashindwa, conflict of interest. But I still do journalism. I started doing court reporting before moving to political reporting. Then now eventually ventured into development journalism, focusing mostly on gender and environmental issues. But now for the development journalism, mostly I was doing for BBC Focus on Africa Radio, which I regretted because I started a little bit too late. Because I can say most of the monies that I made at that particular time was when I started doing development journalism, ambayo si watu wengi wanapenda sana, especially for upcoming journalists kama sisi. Now, to be a journalist, you require several things, like having the know-how of current affairs, of what is happening currently, be it political, business-wise, name them at the moment. Actually, siku hizi unaambiwa worldwide, isikuwe ni Kenya peke yake. Because if you've gone for an interview with BBC or they are requesting for some interns, you have to know what is happening. And if it's locally, it has to have a niche to do with international audience. To me, I say journalism is the basis and the basic and the foundation of any other career that you want to pursue. Because everything else nowadays revolves around writing, communicating. Ukienda kwa NGOs ni mambo na fundraising that requires a lot of writing, mambo na persuade watu that requires a lot of communication skills. So you're not on the wrong forum, bado uko tu hapo hapo. So for the journalists in the house, si rahisi hivyo. Let me not discourage you, but si rahisi hivyo. It's going to be tough. Huku skuli utafundishwa, huku nje tukiwaona kwa screen mnafikiria ni hivyo ni rahisi, but it's not going to be easy. It's not an easy road and journey kitambo ufike hapo kwa screen, unless utatumia njia za mkato ambazo si nzuri and they don't last. I will tell you for free, I had to work for 2 years for free without pay for me to be employed at Milele FM. Si internship, kufanya kazi bila malipo. Na hapa ndo kunakuja ile saying ya journalism is a calling. You will make the money, yes, but for you to reach there, you build your brand. Ufike hapo kwenye umefika, ukuwe recognized, upewe kazi na media house. You really have to push yourself, you really have to work hard, ndo ufike hapo kwenye utafika, ukuwe a brand like kina Maina Kageni, yenye ukisema unatoka hivi kidogo unaitwa unaambiwa sema unataka ngapi. It didn't just happen yesterday. So you have to push yourself, you have to market yourself, you have to build a brand for yourself for you to be somebody. Na saizi iko very competitive. Omar Shungu amesema tu yeye ni chairman na ni mwandishi, but he's also a blogger. Saizi it's very competitive. There are bloggers, there are citizen journalists. And then now with the digital media, saizi naona kuna wengine wako na podcasts, YouTubers, au tunawaita media practitioners huku kwetu, because you'd find most of them are not journalists, but they are selling or they are informing the public about the current happenings. So you have to compete with that. You can start now by doing podcasts, because you guys have an advantage. Mko na TV47, Cape Media is under you guys. You take advantage of that by kwanza kutafuta story locals zenye zina happen hapa, utume for Swahili. I didn't know I would do Swahili news. Mimi nilikuwa nimejiona na kuja kwa another Catherine Kasavuli, which didn't happen. So ukwe both sides, bilingual, multimedia. Ladies, embrace photography. Ukitaka kupenya rahisi, ingia photography. Take the tough paths. Either business reporting, like the way Larry Mado started with business reporting. He built a brand for himself, akajieka mahali kwenye hiyo time broadcast media, we were not embracing it. So anza, for ladies, sports reporting. Kama huyu venye amesema investigative reporting, sio rahisi. Itakunyima your social lifestyle. Because sasa itabidi kupost uache, kusema uko wapi uache. And you start practicing now. Ndio isikuje kukupata baadaye ukashtuka. So begin, anzeni sasa, msingoje mtoke ndo mwanze kutafuta. Anza sasa, anza kujua. There are several radio stations hapa around you. Kuna 001, kuna Radio Rahma, kuna Radio Salam. Hizi kwanza ziko tu hapa. Usitegemee Cape Media peke yake. Tembea, make a visit. Juana na watu kwa hiyo station. Ndio ukitoka hata ukienda kutafuta internship, hautaanza tena kuuliza iko wapi. Because it's very discouraging. Student anakuja, kuna stations ziko tu hapa within, hajui anzie wapi. So start visiting those people, hizo media houses, anzeni kuzitembelea, ndio build rapport. Kesho ukitoka, hautakuwa na kazi ngumu sana kutafuta. Sawa. And the other thing is, we usually have grants ya Media Council. You can apply. I don't think, if I'm wrong, Maureen, even students are eligible to apply as long as you are accredited with the Media Council of Kenya. So you can apply, you pitch your story. Ukikwama, unaweza kuja tukusaidie. Even your teachers can help you. I'm sure they are very good at pitching. Because kama mdosi wangu ni alumni, you can clearly see the products of MKU. They are good. So you start now. Usingoje utoke. You can do your own podcasts. He's a guru when it comes to issues to do with podcasting. Watawasaidia. Blogging, Omar Shungo is here. Radio, broadcast, I am here. When it comes to print media, my boss is here. So mko sawa, msiogope. Anytime you want to come. And your social media pages should start reflecting you, what you want to become. You start branding yourself as early as now. Sisi hatu kuambiwa hivyo, but you guys have the opportunity to begin now. Uanze kujitafuta we ni nani. Ndio hata watu wakianza ku-identify students, it would be very easy. Nitasema niende Mount Kenya nione so and so. So, but bottom line is, journalism is a calling. Ni ujitume, ufike hapo kwenye utafika. You build your brand. Na hauta regret. Journalism iko na pesa. Mtu asiwadanganya haina pesa. Iko na pesa. Ni wewe mwenyewe sasa kujituma. Mimi sina mengi ya kusema. It's to welcome Ali. Awaongeleshe.
Okay, asante Matunda. I want to be very brief. Zamani when we started, that is Zamani for me, not Zamani for Maureen here. So Zamani yangu si Zamani ya Maureen. Like when we started journalism, I started journalism in 2012. Nikitoka TUM. So when we started, kitambo we used to identify ourselves. Kama mimi nilikuwa nikisema I am a radio journalist. I started my career at Radio Rahma. I've worked at Radio Rahma for like 10 years, hadi 2023. But for now, you cannot identify yourself as a radio journalist or a print journalist or a broadcast journalist. Like Matunda said, sahi watu ni multimedia. Like, yes, you are a radio journalist, but kuna kitu kinaitwa mobile journalism. Alafu, one thing that is discouraging me here now, for us who are journalism students, ni kama vile tumekuja kusikiza, lakini ni vizuri ukisikiza na kuandika. Lakini cha kushangaza, hatuandiki. So it means also, ukienda mahali kama umeenda kucover story, Ni kama vile mwanahabari ambaye tembei na notebook. Yes, we have our mobile phones, we record, but it's also good to take notes for reference. So currently we have mobile journalism. Najua sisi kama vijana Gen Z, I believe majority of us hapa tukiuliza simu zenu ziko na ile labda ndogo kabisa itakuwa iko na capacity ya 128 GB. Wengine kuna 256. Sasa hii iko na ngapi? 512. So hizi ni simu ambazo tunatumia sasa hii kufanya journalism. Kuna kitu kinaitwa mobile journalism. Use your phone. You record a video. Hapo ndio unatumia kufanya kila kitu. Yaani story ambao ni multimedia, iko kwa audio, iko kwa video, bado unaweza kuiweka kwa website. So hivyo ndio journalism imeshift kutoka kwa radio. Hata sasa ukiangalia most of the radio stations ziko na websites ambazo they post their stories there. Na ukiangalia zile story ni stories ambazo pia ziko na videos. So that is a challenge we need to take up. I believe it's also a unit that is being taken in most of the universities. Hata hapa I believe it is there, ya mobile journalism, ya kutumia simu kufanya news. Then I just want to emphasize on the issue of grants. We understand the media space is shrinking, especially if you are a person who is thinking ya kwamba ukimaliza hapa MKU ukigraduate utaenda upate kazi Citizen TV, utapata kazi Standard. But the reality is ukishamaliza ukishatoka nje, things are totally different. So what do you do? Hapo sasa kama vile Matunda amesema, you use your common sense. There are people who have studied journalism but they have never been employed kwa mainstream media. Yani yeye alifanya attachment kwa mainstream media akamaliza hapo, story yake ikaisha hapo. And there are people who are doing very good. Mtu akona social media, anatumia YouTube, akona YouTube channel yake, anafanya photography kama kazi. Yeye anafanya photography, anapiga picha, anatengezea watu documentaries. Hiyo ndo kazi inamlipa. Yes, study journalism, lakini hayuko kwa any media house. So that is how people get money. So on the issue of grants, that is how journalists currently are surviving. You apply for grants. The Media Council offers an opportunity for students to get accredited. As long as you have a platform to post whatever news or feature story you are applying for, basi you qualify to get that grant. For instance, the Mombasa Press Club has a website where members can post stories, especially freelance or independent journalists who are not attached to any media house. There is a platform where you can post your stories, alafu na maisha yanaendelea. For instance, if you get a story grant like 1500 USDs, hiyo ni approximately kama 170,000. Umepata as a story grant. What can you do with the 170,000 ukipewa sahi? Si kama ni mtu unaishi kwako, una familia, inakusaidia kulipa rent, si ndio? Kuliko kukaa ukisubiri. Hata sisi ambao tumefanya kazi kwa media stations, kama vile Matunda amesema, uko mahali umekuwa employed full time, lakini kuna mahali kwengine unapiga side hustle. Kwa mfano, when I used to work with Radio Rahma, there was a project we were doing together with MAUREEN, ambao we were trained by DW Academy as media consultants. So hiyo ilikuwa kama side hustle. You do that as a consultant, lakini kuna mahali umeajiriwa kazi full time. Na maybe ile wapata kule kama consultant is much more higher compared to whatever you are getting as a full-time employee. So let us also think of how we can maneuver around the profession. Usitegemee ukitoka hapa kwamba utaenda Citizen uajiriwe, utaenda sijui K24 uajiriwe. Kazi sahihi ni kidogo. Tumeona kila siku watu wanasimamishwa kazi. So let us start our YouTube channels. let us grow them, alafu from there now we can start to commercialize. Kwa mfano angalia Obina TV. Obina is not a journalist, he's just a celebrity. Lakini guess how much that guy is making just because of his YouTube channel. Angalia Crazy Kenner, zile vitu yofanya. Guess how much that person is making. Kuna yule wa mkurugenzi, anaitwa nani? This guy Abel Mutua. Guess how much Abel Mutua is making just because of that YouTube channel. So from here, tusio kwamba ni wanafunzi wa kungojea tuajiriwe kwa media houses. Let us think, and when you are thinking, think of something that is very, very, I can say, exclusive. And then once you think of that idea, make sure kuna consistency. If you have decided ya kwamba mimi YouTube channel yangu na publish content yangu every Saturday, then make sure every Saturday content inapatikana. So when you also think of audience engagement, lazima ufikirie kitu ambacho, kwa mfano tuko hii Mombasa, think of something ambayo watu wa Mombasa wanapenda. Yani iwe ni channel ambayo ama podcast, unajua kwa mfano sahi sijaona podcast ama YouTube channel ambayo yazungumzia ni places gani Mombasa nikija naweza kutembea. Kwa mfano najua kuna Fort Jesus, lakini mtu hajafanya. So in a way that mtu kutoka Nairobi anajua nikienda kwa podcast ya mtu fulani nitajua zile sehemu za kutembea hii Mombasa. So think of content that is exclusive, content ambayo mtu anaweza kusubscribe. Yani isiwe tu unafanya, lakini iwe ni content ambayo mimi naweza acha time yangu for those 5 minutes just to watch your content, for those 10 minutes to watch your content. So let us think of these ideas. I want to see tukitoka hapa kila mmoja, like for us when we are doing consultancy and you have that way forward, your plan, yani tukimaliza na hapa, what do we want to see? So we want to see people starting podcasts, we want to see people starting YouTube channels. You have facilities here. I believe hii university kuna very good facilities ambazo tunaweza kutumia kushoot video zetu fupi and start publishing content on our social. So let us take that challenge. In case you have questions, tuko na the Mombasa Press Club offices iko pale Little Theatre. I believe you all know where Little Theatre is. Pale kwa makaburi ya Mbaraki. That is where the offices of the Mombasa Press Club are. Chairman atazungumzia zaidi, and you are welcome. Tuko na ofisi pale, ukiwa member, kuna internet, kuna full equipment ziko pale za kuweza kuja kufanya kazi. Tuko na studio pia, kwa hivyo in case umekwama, kuna content unataka kufanya, kuna idea uko nayo, unaweza kuja tukasaidiana. We want to see guys moving kutoka hapa, tujue tulienda MKU tukaongea na wanafunzi. I can give you a story of radio station that we had consultancy with last year around October, ile Dayo. So some of the ideas ambao Dayo is a community radio station ambayo imeanzishwa na a youth organization inaitwa Dream Achievers Youth Organization, iko kule Mtopanga. So they started an online radio, and when we are doing the consultancy on behalf of DW, some of the ideas ambazo tuliwaambia is to come up with a TikTok account. Na sahi they are doing very good in their TikTok. Hata mnaweza kuangalia Dayo. Pia on their socials are very active. So we want to see people being active. As a journalist, do you have a Twitter account? Wale wa Facebook huwa tunaambiwa mwenye ako na Facebook account ni mzee. Kwa hivyo nyinyi vijana, mko na Twitter accounts, mko TikTok, mko Instagram. Kama huko basi naenda nyumbani, usiharibu pesa ya mzazi. Mwambie mzazi akupe pesa ufanye biashara nyingine. But if you want to study journalism, hakikisha your online presence is felt and it's also visible. Kwa hivyo kama una fungua, na usifungue tu alafu ikae, fungua publish content alafu mtu atajua By the way, nikitaka story fulani nitaenda kwa mfano, mtu akitaka story hizi za kahawa, mwenyewe anasema huwa anamwagia watu kahawa, anaitwa Maverick Aoko on X. So mtu anajua nikitaka story za umbea anaenda kwa Nyakundi, and some stories are very credible by the way, si kwamba ati ni story tu za huku na kule. So let us embrace the social media platforms for us to also prosper in our journalism career. So mimi nitaachia hapo, baadaye kama kutakuwa na maswali tutafurahi kuwajibu.
Good afternoon everyone once again. Okay, kwa majina naitwa Omar Abdallah. Kama nilivyojieleza hapo, I've been a journalist for over like 13 years now. I've practiced in Kenya, in Tanzania. Sana sana habari za wasanii. Wangapi hapa wanapenda habari za wasanii? Kina Diamond, kina Likiba. Wapenda? Ndio yalikuwa mambo yangu, but while in Tanzania. So I came back, najiendeleza, and I'm the chairman of the Mombasa Press Club. So I'll talk briefly about the Mombasa Press Club. Mombasa Press Club is a professional caucus ambayo inaleta waandishi wa habari wote wa Mombasa pamoja. Na nia na madhumuni ya sisi kuanzisha hichi chama ni at least kujiendeleza kitaaluma na kiwelfare. Unajua mtu akiona mwandishi wa habari anafikiri huyo ana shida. Wakati sisi kama waandishi wa habari pia tuna shida zetu ambazo tunazipitia, na tunaamini through Mombasa Press Club once tukija pamoja tunaweza kusaidiana kitaaluma na kiwelfare. Na Mombasa Press Club was actually launched last year, March on 20th. So in few days to come, we'll be celebrating our first anniversary, and we will launch the club through the help of the Media Council of Kenya. Hawa ndo tunawaita kama patron wetu. Now for you to be a member, you have to be accredited by them. You need to have a press card. This is a press card. You need to have this, which is your, say, a license for you to practice journalism in the country, which comes from the Media Council. So for you to be a member of the of the Mombasa Press Club, you need to have this media card, the press card. So, and another thing is you have to be practicing in Mombasa. I know there have been a lot of questions. Some of you have asked me through Bright if they can either join the Mombasa Press Club. No. This is actually for those practicing, the media practitioners and the journalists. Though we are thinking of coming up with friends of the Mombasa Press Club ambayo itawahusisha kama wale wanafunzi ambao wanasomea journalism, and this will actually, you'll be involved in some of the activities that sisi kama club tutakuwa tunafanya. Because so far we have a calendar of events. We have a series of events that we'll be doing, especially in this year. Last year we did some, and there's one that we through Mr. Chris. I contacted Mr. Chris, akatusaidia baadhi yenu. We involved them in some of the activities, which was a march, a protest. We were protesting for media freedom, and some of you came and participated. So through the friends of the Mombasa Press Club, we'll be looking into how we can also be partnering with you as students of journalism in terms of mentoring and nurturing you. As Ali Mwalimu has said, we have an office at the Little Theatre Club, Mbaraki Kule, where almost all journalists, you'll find them there. There's a media hub where they come, they operate from. There's a studio where tunasaidia pia wale digital content creators, because we believe kuna wale wangependa create content ya online but hawana hiyo space. So at the studio there, at the media hub, we have a studio pale ambao tunasaidia. So in case kama wewe unapenda mambo ya content ya online na ungependa kupata mahali ambako unaweza kuja ukajirekodi nini, ama una mgeni wako unataka kufanya interview kiasi, you are welcome. Utakuja pale, tutakupatia nafasi, utafanya. Though you have to inform us early, tuangalia availability pia, sawa? So if you've been keen, Ali Mwalimu Matunda, kuna kitu ame-emphasize sana ambao ni ku-diversify. Unajua mtu ama mwanafunzi ukimuuliza sasa hivi kwa nini unasomea uandishi wa habari, atakwambia nataka kuwa mtangazaji wa habari. Kwa sababu nimemwona Lulu Hassan anasoma habari, sababu nimemwona Nimrod Tabu anasoma habari, sababu nimemwona Babu. anasoma habari Bamundan. Swale Mdoe. So but katika hii keki ya uandishi wa habari, keki ni kubwa sana. Na kama wenzangu vile walivyosema, jitafute wewe mwenyewe, jiangalie wapi uko pazuri. Si lazima wewe unaenda kusomea tu kutangaza habari, unataka tu kutangaza habari ama kuandika habari. Pia kuna upigaji picha, na pia siku hizi kuna hii mambo ya digital ambayo yamejitokeza, new media. Kuna mambo na blogging. Matunda amemwambia mimi ni blogger, apart from ile kusema mimi ni chairman, mimi ni mwandishi wa habari, mimi ni blogger. Na blogging pays. It pays a lot. If at all you dedicate yourself towards it, you are consistent and you cut an inch for yourself, na ujue ni audience gani unataka. It pays. It pays very well. Mimi naishi maisha yangu through blogging. How many of you, for those who are actually studying journalism, because I believe kuna wengine wa study journalism hapa, for those studying journalism, how many of you somehow have a blog or somewhere where you write your journals or anything? No one. So it's good, at least naona Brighter kuna yake, at least ameanzisha yaka WordPress. It's good. Mimi I started my blog as a WordPress while I was at college at Mombasa Aviation here. I started my blog as a WordPress before now turning it into a professional blog. Unajua kuna ile amateur blog na professional blog. WordPress is just an amateur blog, sababu huwezi kujiwekea vitu vyako ambavyo unavitaka, vitu kama adverts nini. Ile wamekupatia tu template, wewe kazi yako ni kwenda unaandika na kubandika picha. But there's also that part of a professional blog like the one that I'm running. Ile ambayo kila kitu unajiwekea mwenyewe, unaweza kuweka videos YouTube, unaweza ukaweka adverts, everything. Na one way that you can earn through that professional blog ni kama hiyo nimesema, adverts. There are a lot of people who are out there squeezy wanatafuta sana ku-advertise their products, their services through online, through digital platforms, and blogging is one of them. Digital content creation is one of them. Hapa Mombasa kuna watu wengi sana wanatengeza pesa saizi through digital content creation. They are not journalists, but they are media practitioners. And Media Council iko na hiyo kitengo cha kuwatrain nao media practitioners kuwa na zile standards za journalism, because actually they are communicating, they are communicators, so they need to also be aware of the rules and regulations that you need to have for you to do your work well. Kuna watu wengi sana hapa Mombasa wanatengeza pesa kama kina Nyanyarukia. Is it Nyanyarukia? Nani mwingine popular? Mama Fatuma. Nani mwingine? Kuna huyu anaitwa management. Nagib, yeah. So unaona watu wanatengeza pesa sana. So it's just you just try to get a niche for yourself. Ni wapi ungependa kujiendeleza? Ni wapi wewe mwenyewe ukikaa chini ukijitathmini unaona hapa nina uwezo wa kufanya? And go ahead. Usijifunge mwenyewe ati for you to be a journalist you have to be employed in a media house, ama for you to be a journalist you have to be practicing in a mainstream media. No. The cake is big. Unaweza ukasomea uandishi wako habari na ukajiendeleza kitaaluma yako kwa mambo mengine ya kuyafanya, especially now that we have this digital space. Am I clear? So I want to get a question about Mombasa Press Club, because I'm here to address about Mombasa Press Club mainly. Ama nipishe Media Council once? Yes. Yeah, for you to join the Mombasa Press Club, you pay. There's a registration fee of 500, and monthly they pay 200. But that is for the practicing journalists and media practitioners. But nyinyi kama wanafunzi, because we are coming up with that aspect ya nurturing and mentoring students, journalism students, you can be part of the Friends of Mombasa Press Club. That will be free. Whenever we have activities, we will be involving you. Chani nimkaribisha ni Maureen. Wajua hawa ndo wadosi wetu, hawa ndo our regulators.
For those who came after I introduced myself, my name is Maureen MUDI. I work with the Media Council of Kenya. My background is in journalism. I'm happy that I'm seeing very young faces, because I was in this school when I was still old. and now I'm older. So ilikuwa 2013. So you guys are very lucky. You're in class when you're still very young. You can still grasp a lot. So for me, I did, after my diploma in journalism and mass communication, I decided to expand kidogo. So I did development studies. So now currently I've done my postgraduate on leadership and innovation in the newsroom. So sasa naelekea nikiendelea expand, because I also appreciate the fact that the media environment is growing. When my colleague Matunda was talking, akasema, it's never easy huku nje. I worked in at least 4 media houses, one of which I was a regional boss, like we call them chief correspondents or a bureau chief. So one challenge we had was when we were taking up students for internship. Bwana we mambo tulikuwa tunaona. Kwa ground. So we've always been posing a challenge, and also pose that challenge to you, Madam Judy. At times I don't know what you learn in class, but when you come to the field, na tunawatouch, huwa tunachoka by the way. Please make your being in class count. At least you should know the basics of why you are in that class. You should know what the 5 W's and H mean. And wakati wetu ilikuwa ni 5 W's and H, and that was it. Nowadays is the 5 W's and H, and now you ask, so what? So the so what has to feature there. If you don't have the so what in your story, there's nothing you're doing. Nothing at all. So now, I said I'm an alumni here, and before I forget, mimi ni mluya napenda kutuma salamu. We have a forum for those who studied at MKU, enzi zetu. So we'll be having a Mbuzi party sometime in May. So this is just a call that through your leaders you can approach us, so that now it's part of mentorship already. Wakati tunakula mbuzi, pia nyinyi mkuje, mshiriki na sisi, you can join us on our platform. We'll tell you the experiences we went through tukiwa hapa and stuff. See, that is how people learn. Actually, we are here because of 2 of your colleagues. This gentleman here, mwenye alinipatia a very hard time during my presentation, and the beautiful lady, she's called Bright. So we are having an event where I happen to be presenting, and OMMY DALLAH was also there. It was on a weekend. So what we are doing, I was sharing on the space of bloggers and the digital divide, how they can now make sure, in as much as we know there's technology, you know, at the same time, not everyone amevuka, si ndio? Wengine mmefika mpaka AI. But kuna wazazi wetu, okay, kuna sisi ambao tuko Facebook bado, sio? Lakini kuna wazazi wetu ambao bado wanataka kusikiza radio. So how do you make sure in your different spaces, you ensure in your creating content, all of them are included, so that you don't leave your audiences behind? Right? So naona mnaniangalia ni kama mnashangaa. I need to start from the basics again. Who knows about Media Council? Please, I need to see some hands. Who has ever interacted with Media Council at any point? Media Council of Kenya. Hawa watu. Media Council. I'm seeing 3 hands. The rest of us, we've never. Okay, 4 hands. So the rest of us, we've never. Boss, just say yes or no. Naona kuna vile unaangalia nikiwa unafikiria. Have you interacted with the Media Council before? Do you know about Media Council? What do we do? Who are we? Simko class? Tujibu maswali sasa. Who are we? Okay, kuna Mwakenya. I've made it easier. Kuna Mwakenya. But you don't need to read. It means if you are reading, you've never interacted with us, so that it can help you now know how I can engage with you. Unaanza kuambia mambo zingine zenye maybe hamjaisikia. Right? So majority of us don't know about Media Council, right? Yes? No? Yes? She has investigated through seeing. Yes, alisema nataka kuwa investigative reporter. When I was growing up, I had an ambition of, but then I wanted to either be a journalist or a singer. And I wanted to be a journalist, not just a journalist, a presenter, kwa TV. So when I continued growing up, I realized I was too shy for TV. So I said, hey, TV sitaezana nayo. So nikasema wacha nione vile nitaendelea. Then nikaimba kidogo, of course zile za church za choir. Then nikaona hainipeleki vizuri. Then I joined the journalism class. So I didn't get to be a presenter, but here I am. I've been a journalist for 20 years. I've worked for different media houses. I started with the print. I went to radio. I've worked outside the country for some years. Then I came back. The most, how do I put it? The most thing I love about my work in the media is that I've always operated in Mombasa. So nitaenda bado nitarudi nyumbani, nitaenda bado nitarudi nyumbani. So why am I telling you my story? It's because where you are is where you can start from. Our days, and I always love talking about this, siku zetu, my friend, ilikuwa unaenda field. In fact, hatukuwa na simu, to start with that. Hatukuwa na simu. In 2002, I was covering elections without a phone. So I had to borrow a phone from my brother-in-law, a Sagem, a big one, Sagem. Na ikuwa smartphone, of course. So a few years before I went to the newsroom, people used to use typewriters, zile zenye una type, unavuta, unarudisha hivi. Can anyone relate? Can you relate? So that is where we were, and we loved our life. Hapa posta, GPO. Mungu anisamee niliokoka, lakini the number of times I tapped the phones there. Kulikuwa na hizi booth, telephone booths. So these booths, za red. Najua hizo hamkupata, hata mkijaribu kudanganya. Hizo hamkupata. The booths, you could call, and then if you're calling to a newsroom, they give you a reverse call. So you could talk for free because now they're the ones being charged, right? So the notorious ones, wale walikuwa napenda free things, like a few of my friends and a bit of me kidogo. We used to go there. You put a coin. Ilikuwa ni bob. Actually ilikuwa ni penny. Not penny ya PENNY. Penny ya mtoto wa ndururu. So najua hapo nimewapoteza, but just understand the story. I'll tell you the moral of that story. So you put that kacoin hapo, itaanza kuingia, then ukisikia, because it could count the minutes. So when it's about to hang, like umeishiwa na pesa, unaenda kujifanyisha ni kama unaihang, then unaireceive tena. So it means now, from the other side, imeonekana you've put some money, then you talk for free. You see, that is where we came from. But now imagine, you can even Fuliza, you can even Copa Credo, you have your mobile phones. These are things that were not there a few years back. And it means now the space is very, very, is growing. If you need to make money, don't wait for years that you are saying, oh, mimi bora silipi rent, oh, mimi nalipiwa school fees. For some of us, we have to pay our own school fees to be in class. Yeah? You are lucky someone is paying your school fees. Please make sure you don't just decide, wacha tu nikae mpaka nipate kazi. Start earning now through your platforms, through networking. You can meet different people, ask what they do, network with them, attend these webinars. All over Waziko, but there are a lot of webinars. You have free Wi-Fi everywhere nowadays. So attend the webinars, find out what are people doing in my space. In fact, I want to invite you on one. So I'll use, I think I've been chatting with Bright. I'll send Bright the link, and I want to see all of you on that webinar. What we are doing as Media Council currently, we are reaching out to stakeholders to go through some curriculums that we've developed for journalists. So there are 4 curriculums. One, ya leo ilikuwa ni SMEs. So you know SMEs? Yeah? SMEs. You know SMEs? Okay. So the other one is digital economy. So the one we're having next week, it will be on agriculture and agribusiness. So these are curriculums that will help journalists to report on those topics. Hii serikali ya Kasongo, he is very keen on particular issues. So now, wewe kama mwandishi wa habari, by the way, usiende tu uko nje kila mara kwa mambo ya kietu. You also have to align with some of the things that are currently happening, so that you look at the trends, what is happening. If Jubilee, okay, it's not Jubilee, saini government gani tuko nao, because they keep on changing. Kenya Kwanza. So in fact, it's a coalition. Sindio? Broad-based. We are now on a broad-based arrangement. So you look at what the current system wants and what is happening, because whether you like it or not, and if you're in opposition or you're still mtu wa serikali, whichever way, you have to be aligned with what is happening so that it helps you take advantage of what they are doing to make money for yourself. Like now, tulijua to the other day kwamba SHA is not even managed by the government, sio? So what are you doing as a Gen Z about it? Bwana mulienda mpaka parliament. Muliingia parliament, sio? And you use technology. You are communicating on your Twitter spaces, you are doing a lot of mobilization there, and you went there. Huh? So if you have those spaces, you have your platforms that you can use, take advantage of them. Start small. Nyinyi mko TikTok sana, sio? Sisi wazee tumeingia TikTok hivi na miaka yetu, tuna struggle. In that meeting you are there, they will tell you. The convener of the meeting is the chairman of the Bloggers Association of Kenya. And he shared his experience akisema bwana, iyo TikTok, he cannot just understand how you synchronize a song and you singing at that same time and then una post video. And he was very genuine. And you see, those are the struggles some of us who are old relate with. See, tuko Facebook and we are very comfortable. Okay, mimi niko TikTok because I just want to see what happens and then I post kidogo. Because I also do, as Ali mentioned, we were part of consultants who are training small and medium media houses on media viability. So part of what I'm doing on TikTok is just to see how do people monetize content online. So I'm telling you, create your own platform, even if it's a blog. And one of the things that I learned from that meeting is, usizoeza watu, like you could be working somewhere. Si hapa mna studio yenu? Yeah? How many have recorded something in the studio? I'm seeing one hand. Who has recorded? Yes, another one, At least there are some. Ni wengine wa mnadu? Because hizi mikono naona tu ziko 4. Do we got the same class? We don't. Okay. Sawa. Even if you're here and you don't attend this class, you are not in a wrong place. She said she's in procurement. But then again, procurement, you also have to look at the current trends. What is happening in procurement? Because when you talk about KEMSA, na madawa na tenders going wrong, something happened, and you must understand through maybe reading the news and understand now internally as a procurement person, how do you now upgrade how you are doing things? How do you automate things? See, that is part of technology. That is part of AI and what is happening currently. Who uses AI here? Any form of AI. At least hapa nataka kuona mikono yote. Use AI. Sorry? All of you. How do you use AI? No, I want someone who has not talked. How do you use AI? You don't use AI. Don't worry, you will grow up. You're still growing. Another person this side who uses AI, don't be shy. Just tell us. Walimu, please don't judge them. Assignments, Okay, another person, how do you use AI? To research. That's a good one. AI is supposed to be that, not copy-pasting akili ya AI alafu unaweka huku kwako alafu na pretend ni yako. Even back in the newsroom, by the way, there's a lot of use in AI. So one of the things that we've done at Media Council level, we've come up with the regulations on how journalists can use AI, especially in the newsroom or even in your different spaces, because tumeona kuna shida. People just copy and paste. Kuna kwa group nyingine last week niliona mtu aliingia kwa group, amejoinishwa then akasema, then this is how you can make your introduction better. Then now the introduction is down there. Do you know the message is still there and she didn't notice? Ni sisi tu watu wazee tu, tuna hizo shida. She didn't edit, she just put it the way it was. Na mimi nikasema, I will not even tell her. We will learn from her mistake, right? So be careful when you are using AI because it could embarrass you. We even know of prominent people. There is a time, na sina wakili, tafadhali sina wakili. Niko tu hivi. There's a time Karo Mutoko posted something as well, right? Who remembers? She was advertising something and it was, then down there was ChatGPT might be wrong or something. There's a way your message went end. So she posted the whole of it, vile ilikuwa. So what are we saying? In as much as technology is here, you have to be very innovative to use technology. So that you just don't relax your brain, ulale vile unalala usiku umelalisha brain and you're not doing anything about it. So, I will just go very fast about what we do as Media Council. Media Council, we are regulators in the media industry. We set standards. We have, let me share this before I forget. We set standards. I will give an example. of Teacher Service Commission and what it does to teachers. So Teacher Service Commission do not own a school. Same way, Media Council of Kenya, we don't own any media house. Yeah? We don't own any media house, but we regulate the media space. Yeah, we set standards and we ensure that journalists have to comply by those standards. So how do we set standards? We have the Code of Conduct. It's a very small booklet. Who has ever seen this one? Unajua ile siku nilijibu maswali zangu zote. Leo hata nikikuona hivi, huyu kijana ni mwerevu. Is he your class rep? Himan ha. Alijibu maswali zangu zote. So he'll be a lecturer or a teacher soon. Who has ever interacted with this? It's a code of conduct for the practice of journalism in Kenya. So this is what journalists use kule nje kwa field. Hata wewe ukiwa hapa as a content creator, even in your small space, you need to check on some laws and regulations that you need to abide by the time ufike kule nje. So I'll leave a few copies with you so that now you can go through. It's a very small thing, very small. So that when you're in doubt, you can always refer. Currently, it's undergoing some review to accommodate some more rules and regulations. So Media Council, we are in 6 major areas. So first of all is academy, and this is part of it. We train journalists, we train mass communicators on how they can engage in different areas, on how to do some particular coverage. So now, like I mentioned, the curriculum. So one of our areas is academy, as you can see. So we do a lot of training for journalists, for media practitioners, for media communicators. We even train people who are in the media space but doing public relations work in different organizations, because at the end of the day, unapata mwandishi anatafuta information from an organization, but the organization does not have people or skilled people who can give that information to the media. So we also train them on media relation issues. So that is one of our area, academy. The other area, we do a lot of advocacy. So advocacy at times means maybe a journalist, kama jana tumekuwa Malindi, by the tukirudi, we had an incident in Kilifi. So politicians are not happy with how a particular station reports on their stories. So when they went for that event, na gari yao wakakuwa bad by their goons. So such a kind of stories that we normally intervene, tunawambia bwana, these people, they are just doing their work. Same to when police officers attack journalists. Jana muliona kulikuwa na moto Nairobi, sio? And there was a problem with how journalists accessed that place. So I'm just urging you, just go to our website and you can see some of our services like that one, to share to Matayari statement. And then we engage them and tell them we need to work together. Access to information is a very, very proper, very, very important, critical when a journalist needs to do their work. Na pia, we tell journalists, in as much as you can access information, don't just go anywhere and start looking for information. Like you go to State House, ya Kasongo, and you start taking photos, utashikwa. Ama you go to parliament like the Gen Z, I'm not saying it's wrong or right, but you know the repercussions of accessing places that you don't have control over. So there are also limitations that come with access to information. So that is part of what we do in our advocacy. Then we do media monitoring, so that is analysis. He is a media analyst, she is a media analyst. So part of their daily work is to look into content that goes on air, that is published, that is written anywhere, that is online. So we have fact checkers in the house. They just go through the content and see, huyu mwandishi aliandika nini, is this okay? Is this wrong? Is there a place that they can improve? So we check that a lot. So tungekuwa tuna monitor your TV station, we could also be listening what you are bringing out. So that is why it's important to have the code, because there are also repercussions if you misreport. I know there's a lot of things that go on in the media industry. Wakati mwingine unapata mtu ameongea tu, amesema kitu ambao si sawa. There are instances that have happened, right? You know about them. So that is our work. We try to make sure that people remain professional. And again, the other area, there's accreditation, and I'm sure some of you will be very interested in that one. We accredit practicing journalists. And I'll not even say practicing alone. I will say we accredit journalists. Any person who is practicing as a content creator, you need to be accredited by the Media Council of Kenya to practice. And one of the reasons why we accredit is because we want to bring professionalism in the industry. So unaweza enda mahali and you cannot access because you don't have the card that nipatie kwa wale walichelewa. So like for us, we work in Media Council, right? But because we have a background in journalism, like me and her, we also have our press cards, like this one. So unaona kama ya Omar Abdallah, okay. What nakuta Shungu, your trade name. His trade name is Shungu, that's what we call him. So for him, he's a reporter under operations, so this is his press card. Inaandikwa, like even you as students, you can have your press card as early as now, as long as now you have all the requirements. You just get a letter from your institution, you take a photo with a clear background, and then nowadays, because of the platforms and the mambo ya kuwa digital, you don't need to come to our office for it to be done. You can do it on your own. So it's self-registration. We've been doing a lot of that. I think last week we were here with the accreditation team, right? Were you part of the process? Just sensitizing. Naona ni kama siongee na journalism students, but nitapambana tu hivyo hivyo mpaka nimalize. So it's a very, very important card. Then again, unfortunately, tushamaliza your period. If you're a content creator or you do any content, we normally have benefits that come along with just appreciating as a journalism student or as a journalist or as a content creator. We can give you grants. So one of the major grants that we have under Media Council is the annual Journalism of Excellency Award. It's called AJEA. So this one normally comes every May 3rd when you're celebrating the World Press Freedom Day. I'm hoping we've heard about World Press Freedom Day. Yeah? It's a major event for any journalist. Hata nyinyi wenye mko class, mnafaa mkuwa mnajua siku. So on that day we appreciate and we acknowledge and we celebrate journalists who have excelled in their field. Matunda hii akiwa newsroom alikuwa na apply sana na alikuwa napata. Then you are awarded. So it's normally a very, very elaborate thing. So it's just important, even if you're reporting, you earn from it and you are recognized for that kind of an effort. Then I want to just talk about your digital footprints. You know, at times, in as much as we might say, we are not on Facebook, maybe on TikTok, we are on LinkedIn, we are on this other one, Snapchat, right? You're on those different platforms. A story was once said, and very recently so, of someone who posted something years ago, and then akaenda kakua interviewed for a very senior position, a job. This person passed with flying colors and everything, but didn't get the job because of what they posted online. Na ikamcost hivyo kazi, by the way. So be careful on what you are posting sahi, by the way. Be very careful. It has to be something that is professional. Hata kama kuna ile matani, weka tu, lakini don't be someone who goes around ukitafuta maneno. Okay, tusitaje tena Maverick kama example, but tutamtaja tu. The kind of things she posts, any potential employer atasema, I cannot employ this person because she's not trustworthy. She can give out secrets and such stuff, right? So, even as an investigative journalist, you should be very careful on what you are posting now, because wataangalia your background waseme apana, huyu kuna vile alitembea vibaya at some point na itakukost, and then you go for an interview and they ask you, what did you post? What did you mean here? And unfortunately, maybe it's that organization unataka kuingia ndio umeingilia. So be very careful. Another area I wanted to share as I wind up is update your CVs. The kind of CVs who wanapata hata saa hizi, because we still have programs for interns. I'll share after this. They are not hazifurahishi. Bwana mtu anaandika CV, then huku chini, by the way ni true story, na inauma, huku chini kwa referees ataandika Judy MKU. Hivyo tu, Judy MKU, referee number 1. Then aende referee number 2, aandike OMMY Press Club. Amemaliza. Then now this person ameattach your CV yenye hata hajaandika, like, but some things don't even put on your CV. They will not even matter, like you are writing about I'm single, I'm married. Who wants to know that? Yeah? We don't need to know. Yeah? Or I'm straight, I'm female, I'm gay. Don't write those things. We don't need to know those things. They are very relevant. And it will come at a point when even your CV will not have your primary level education. It will be very, very relevant. Yeah? So now, this same person anakuja na attach your CV kwa email, anaandika, anaandika nini that word? When they are sending their CVs to us. Sasa, unaona, okay, let me use Swahili because that word imepotea. On email, anaandika sasa, find attached. Ama here's my CV. Like, just like that, here's my CV. Nothing acknowledging, nothing saying what the CV is about. You don't even say what you are looking for. Haya, akuje kwa cover letter. He? Capital letters, small letters, zote. Mchanganyiko zimechanganyika. Full stop haweki, question mark haweki, comma, okay, hawezi weka question mark. Comma haweki kwa sababu haulizi maswali. Comma haweki, yani something hainieleweki. So look at your grammar. How are you projecting yourself to a potential employer? There's one I called, and Matunda knows. There's one I called to the office, nilimpigia simu, nikamwambia come. Not to give her an opportunity, but to just take her through what she needs to do in a CV. Because really, if you take that CV anywhere else, you'll not even get a job. You'll not. Heri uanze kuuza ice cream huko nje. Because you need to update your CV. Iwe iko sawa. You put your LinkedIn account pale, so that a potential employer can go aseme, okay, let me check on LinkedIn. Angalie LinkedIn aone, okay, kweli this is the person and this is what they do. And LinkedIn must be very active. Ng'ang'aneni na TikTok huko, wachaneni na Facebook, but please, LinkedIn is the platform for jobs and opportunities. That one, it goes without saying for now, unless maybe you get another one. So you need to be very careful on what you do. At Twitter Spaces, just do, your Twitter handles should be very okay. Munaweka hapo. When you're opening your email address, usiandike sweetie2022@gmail.com, or you write hot chick, at sijui nini. Don't write those things. Just write your names. Those are the things that deny you an opportunity. And by the way, naongea hivi kama jokes, but I've seen these things baka wanachoka. I even tell lecturers in your colleges and universities, please teach these students, because hatuwasaidii if we don't tell you these things. So you need to be very accurate on what you write. You need to be very professional. So hata ukikuja kwa newsroom, come well umevaa vizuri, usikae tu umevaa slippers. Umevaa short, umekuja kwa ofisi umevaa vest. Be presentable. Tokea mtu kama unajielewa what you need to do. Hata kama una pesa, but comb your hair. Msichana kama una marashi, at least oga vizuri, panguza, usinuke jasho, Mombasa kuna joto. So these are things that maybe no one will tell you, because you will just assume ni vitu ziko. Aki, don't laugh. It's serious. And these are things I've seen and I've experienced. Na zinanivunja moyo sana. So please, let's be very, very careful. So the last point, I wanted to just talk about the opportunities that we have at Media Council. One, I've mentioned the grants. Please go to our site, you look at what you need to do. So please, if you are eligible to accredit as a journalist, lipeni saizi kama bado mko young. Ukija huku nje, fee ni 2,000, right? For you to renew a press card or to apply for a press card, you pay 2,000 kama raia. Lakini ukiwa bado student, it's 300. 350. Okay, kwa sababu ya ushuru ya Kasongo, ilibidi kuna vile inaenda. 350. You cannot lack 350 kuwa credit. And then you do your own things. Ukikwama, our offices ziko hapa KBC. At least this one najua na point vizuri, si ndio? KBC, I'm very poor in geography. KBC hapa, ndani ya KBC, we are inside there, we are hosted by them. KBC is Kenya Broadcasting. Don't go to the bank. Watu wanaendanga KCB. Don't go to the bank. Kenya Broadcasting Corporation. If you know you have a talent, please reach out. Hata kama unataka kuwa kwa radio or you want to share your content, please reach out. Usijifunge. If you are taking a course here, and I'm a student of this institution, one of the things you must learn, you must be a leader in your own space. Hata kama wewe ni leader, unachunga your brothers and sisters at home. If you are a student leader here, if you are a student leader anywhere else, or you must be a leader. You must be able to speak in public. Some of us could not, because we are still shy, but we still speak before people. You see, there are things that you must have in you to be able to succeed in this life. Usiende tu mahali ukae, usign attendance sheet, usign registration, and then you go. Make your presence felt. Make it to be felt in your, wherever you are in your different spaces. Sema kitu. A challenge to the ladies in here. Sisi ndio tunakuwa accused. We sit pretty, we sit easy. There's that book inasema good girls don't get good. You know them. Go through those books. Learn something. At least try to expand, grow, research, and do something that will help you. Hata kama you will not get a job in the media, mainstream media, which I don't even want to tell you to go for the mainstream, there's a lot of opportunity huku nje. So lastly, as one of the things that we do, we give internship opportunities for journalism students, mass communication students, public relations students. So there are two opportunities. One, You are attached on different media houses. Tunaweza kupeleka Radio Salam, Baraka FM, any media house for 3 months and then we pay you. Hatukuachi hivyo kavukavu. Tunakulipa. It's not much but at least itakusukuma kidogo. We pay you 15,000 every month until when you are done. We come to check what you are doing in those media houses. Maybe uko unateswa na tujui na tumekutuma mahali na tujui. Right? So that is one. The other, but I must tell you, it is very competitive. Very, very competitive. So the cohort that is on, walianza January, wanamaliza March. So now, be watching on our social media handles, on our spaces, on our website. We'll be advertising for the next application so that you can just put in your application and try. The other kind of internship, we attach you to our organization, Media Council. Unakuja, unakaa na sisi, unaona how we do our work. Tukikuja hivi field kama vile tumekuja, tunakuja na wewe. You can do either photography, you can do report writing, you can do anything. Hata even in the office, you can become a media analyst like these ones. You can be at the reception. We give you an all-round experience, yeah, for you to understand if you're out there in the field, how do you need to project yourself? What do you need to do? But now for this one, inataka kama umemaliza shule, like you're waiting for graduation or something like that. Then now we pay you 25,000 for the 3 months, and then if you are good enough, we can take you in. If there's no opportunity, we will wish you well, and unasonga ukikanyaga kubwa kubwa. Sawa sawa. So, okay, I didn't say in kwa ubaya. Nafasi pia kazi ajira sasa ni ngumu sana. So I think I want to end there. I will send a link to Bright for next week's webinar for that particular one. Why we are doing it is it's a validation process where we want you to contribute and tell us this curriculum iko sawa, these are the areas we think will make much more sense, because ninyi ndio tunaangalia kesho. Sisi tushafanya newsrooms, tumetoka. Yeah? So we are looking upon you when you get into those spaces. Actually, you should be in those spaces now. What you'll be doing, because that is meant for you. Someone asked another day kwa radio, akasema, why is it that 70-year-olds, 60-year-olds, okay, 60 was there sana because some of us are almost there. 70, 80-year-olds are making decisions for this country, yet in the next few years they'll not be there. And these decisions they're making will affect Gen Zs, okay, sisi millennials pia, I'm comfortable there. And how wengine, the alphas, yeah? So these decisions are being made by people who will not even implement them, and they will not even live through those decisions. So take up your space. Usione where you are, you can't do anything. Just be confident. Be confident, work hard, pray, very important. And then, usiwe na maringo na hii maisha. Hata huko nje tunaambia waandishi kina Omari, usiende mahali then unaanza kusema kwani unijui? Unijua unioni kwa TV, unioni kwa radio, unisiki kwa radio, mimi ni fulani. Don't, weka kiburi kando. Just interact with people, socialize with people, because you never know who you are talking to. And you never know utajipata wapi in the next few years. So don't feel limited in your space. You are all capable. The fact that mko hapa, you are good enough. Sawa. Asanteni sana, because I asked you questions. I'm hoping you have none for me, but I'll answer if there's any.